Hi guys, welcome back to Subto Shauna. This is the way, episode 37. So today I have Raqi Zidane on the show. Raqi is a Subto community member, real estate investor, and co-founder of Valor Properties. And he's also an avid soccer fan or football fan, depending on where you are in the world. Hi, welcome, Raqi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure, and I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for coming on the show. So, let's start with when did you join Subto? How did you find Pace and what made you decide that it was right for you?
I found Pace in 2021, but I'm very strategic with everything I do, and it has to be the right time for me. And what I mean by the right time, it's not like I delay or postpone stuff. I just know based on what I have, what's my surrounding, what I'm up to in general before I jump head first into something that I will not pay attention to because it's not the right time. So joined Subto pretty much 60 days ago. We're just actually past the 60 days mark. I joined it with a couple of my partners.
Nice. Wow. So you're like a newbie in the community anyway.
New in the community, yes. It's been on top of the list to join Subto the Subto community really in general. But like I said, it hasn't been the right time because we've been in real estate for quite a bit, and the time presented itself after Squad Up Summit, and that's when we're like, okay, it's a done deal. Let's join.
Okay, I was there. You were there?
I was there, yes.
Yeah, there were so many people that I missed. There were people I wanted to see and didn't see, but yeah, they kept us busy there and it was just like phenomenal. I don't know if you got a chance to see. I made like a little video of it, like a 2-minute video of it on my channel.
I have not seen that, but I would love to take a look at it because I miss a lot of people. Actually, when we went there, we always go with the intention. And when we Squad Up Summit, we actually wanted to go and hang out with everybody. So we just met our friends and the ones that we've known for a while and grabbed dinner, had fun, connected. And actually, we ended up meeting a lot of people that we weren't actually intended to meet. But that's a beautiful thing about getting into the...
Right. And you weren't in Subto yet then either, right?
No, I was not. Funny story, actually. And now I can talk about it because I had expressed it face to face in Clever Summit, a couple of weeks ago. No, actually, last week. I loved Pace ever since 2021 on a professional level. Okay, as a person, I never liked him.
What?
And I talk about it comfortably right now because I actually talked to him about it last weekend. So now I can actually say it because I wanted him to hear it from me as a man first. I think 9 out of 10 is it's your surrounding and it's who you're hang out with that makes you change your mind about certain people and judge them, right?
Right.
That's because of, and I've never been this kind of person, but when
you were influenced, you had outside influence.
All the talk that's getting into your ears, you hear that it's your surrounding, and you're like, you were influenced by that, and then you take a step back and you start analyze because that's who I am. I analyze. I have a skill where I can mute somebody and just watch their body language, and I can understand the kind of person they are. And I did that in Squad Up Summit. Because I had actually the circle of people that really never liked Pace or like talked about Pace when he's not around. I kind of stepped away from it and I was watching, and what I liked about him is how he always, remembers people. This guy is crazy. He remembers people from like 10 years ago. He remembers faces. He gives recognition. That's what I love about him. It's you don't have to do something for him to give you recognition. You don't have to kiss butts or anything like this for Paige to say, hey, look at Shauna, look at Raqi, look at Kevin's show, look at this, look at that. You don't have to do all of that. And that's what I learned about him from Squad Up Summit. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I made it my top priority to talk to him and tell him how I felt on the personal level. Because as a professional, like he and I both spoke at a mastermind for the Astro community.
Okay, so you were in the Astro community with Jamil for a while,
Yes.
right?
So yeah, he and I spoke on the same weekend for the community. Like on a professional level, I mean, Pace is Pace. Like you can argue with that. The guy's knowledgeable. The guy doesn't sleep. He's a zombie. He's all about giving back. On a personal level, I just never understood him. I just never did until later on when I actually looked at it from a different lens. This is how I call it. Like some of us come with that particular lens, puts it on, and that's it. That's all we see with. I had to take that lens and just be me, be Raqi, the one that understands people, feel energy and stuff like this. And I looked, and I was like, I love this guy.
Right.
I love this guy. Like some people don't like him. Look, nobody's better than us.
If they don't like him, I'm inclined to feel like there's some kind of reason, not about pace, that the reason why they don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree, and it's exactly what happened with me. It's what I was surrounded by, and the energy was not the right energy for me, and that's why I was able to step away from it. Because I was. Here's the thing: you're put in positions sometimes where you don't recognize there's a glass ceiling, and the reason why it's a glass ceiling because you never see it. But eventually, when you do so good in what you do, best better than anybody, you're gonna touch it. Once you touch that glass ceiling, you're like, whoa, there is an actual limit to your potential, to who you are, to your leadership skills, to everything. And that's when you step back and you're like, let me analyze the situation. Let me analyze what has been going on around me, around my business, around my energy. And when you do it, like, okay, this is not for me. And when I did that, I looked at Paige differently. And I was like, okay, I see a genuine person in him. He doesn't want Shauna to win. He doesn't want Raqi to win. He wants everybody to win. And that's what I learned from him is, everybody talks about a win-win situation. That's my opinion, of course. What I see from him is if he can create a win for the person in front of him, he knows and believes everybody else is going to win. And that's exactly what I saw. And that's exactly what I felt. And I implemented it right after Squad Up. And it worked. And I was like, I need to tell this guy how I felt and how I feel about him. So, talk to him, Clever Summit, give him a hug and everything. So,
I personally believe that it's almost impossible to not like Pace.
Correct.
Three words that I would choose to describe him, and I picked up on this almost immediately just watching him on YouTube when I first found him, and that is genuine, authentic, and humble. Three things that even years later, he still, what's the word I'm looking for? Emulates those three things. Like most people, once they get to a certain level of success, the humbleness starts to drop a little. The genuineness, the inclusiveness starts to drop, and but not Pace. I mean,
no, I believe it or not, I was with him when he first did his 6 hours live on YouTube. I was with him. I think he did either 12 or 11. I can't recall. And one day he did the 26-hour live. I was on that. I did take a nap, however. Then I come back to it, and he was still on. I think he did exactly 26 hours, maybe a little bit, give it or take 15 minutes. And like I told you, like you can't just not like that guy on a professional level, like 100%, because he always why would he get on YouTube for 26 hours, right? And but again,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a particular lens you have on, it's hard to see it. But then when you get to a point where you take it off, not only you start noticing that, okay, Pace is actually a genuine person who give. Some people look, some people be like, no, he doesn't give back. Some people give back. It doesn't matter. That's just a whole different conversation. But again,
Right.
take that lens off. Not only do you see the real or the authentic Pace, but also you're able to see your surrounding and why you were in a certain position. And now, again, what you said, years later, he still does exactly what he did then. It's because he never puts a filter on. That's what I call it. I don't like using the word two-faced. He doesn't put a filter, and a lot of people have a filter on, and that's not authentic at all. Like,
Yeah.
be vulnerable, say what you say, just be real. It costs you absolutely nothing to be real. And unfortunately, with a lot, whether it's a real estate and stuff like this, people lack that particular aspects about them. Like,
I know what that feels like too. I've had people that just automatically didn't like me for whatever reason. And like, it didn't bother me because I'm like, once they get to know me, they'll be fine. They'll like me.
right, exactly.
It's just like, oh,
Right.
but yeah. So, wow, that's awesome. That's the first time I ever heard somebody talk about, they didn't like pace like, I can't even imagine.
He said the same thing. He said this is the first time somebody come to me and said that, but he thanked me for it, of course, being the guy he is. But he also thought it was the first time. I was like, look, man to man, that's how I felt, and I just
The
wanted you to.
people who influenced you like that, though, most likely, maybe he called him out in the chat, or maybe they were a little envious of him, things coming so easy to him or something. I don't know. That's just a guess, but those are the only reasons I could think of that somebody would. And they don't know him. They can't know him, because if you know him.
I told exactly 100%. I told him, I was like, look, man, I misjudged it. I was like, I misjudged you. I misjudged the crap out of you. I was like, and I just wanted to say that I apologize for it, because I'm a man at the end of the day, and I wanted you to hear it from me, that I admit I misjudged it and I apologize for it. Now, how do you get your teeth so white?
Right. So now Jamil loves him. Him and Jamil
Yes.
are best buds.
No, way back. That's what I met them both in 2021 when I was getting started.
Okay. So what, did you know that Jamil was best buds with him, and you're in Jamil's community?
When I got started in mid 2020, and I heard that Pace and Jamil coming in town, I was like, who's this guy? I was like, I don't know, not like, I don't know anything about them. I was like, but hey, let me go in there and just take an opportunity and network. And that's when I met them both, and I started learning about it. Of course, started watching YouTube and stuff like this, and you learn more about them. So yeah, that was it. And I talked to Pace, and he was like, yeah, he's like, go join Jamil's mentorship. I was like, okay. And I just talk to Jamil, and we take it from there.
Because wholesaling is usually how you start anyway. And
Yes, exactly.
zeroes in on that wholesaling concept. And
you don't need nothing. You just need time, access to internet, and the dog in you to do it. That's all you need, really. And I think that's pretty much almost in every business. It starts within you. It starts within you. I like I told you the other day or earlier, I've coached thousands of people, and number one question that ticks me off so bad is, how do I get? Why do you need motivation to start?
I think they're asking the wrong question.
Yeah, it's like, not motivated. How can I was like, dude, just do it.
You know what I think? I think they are already motivated, because they wouldn't be in your presence to ask you that question if they weren't. I feel like the correct question they probably should be asking is, how do I get past this fear? Like, they're at the pool, they want to swim, they're dipping their toe in the water, but they're afraid to just jump in the water because it might be cold or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's yes, I agree with you. That's part of it. I think the second part is they see an ad or they see somebody or they follow somebody that just closed 2 3 deals and now they're in it for the money. And the problem with that, when you get started for the money only, you're gonna get your hands on money. You're gonna touch it, you're gonna smell it, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna go buy yourself a vacation, you're gonna do something. But what's next? Why did you start is the first question people forget to ask themselves. When we all get started with something, we're so hungry, we're ready to rock and roll and go through mountains, go through closed doors, knock down some walls just to get past point A and to get to point B. But then as we start getting to point, back M N O P, and we go to all these points, we forget why we started. So the fire, it dies. That fire inside us dies because it's no longer ignited by why we started.
Right. You got to keep your eyes on the prize, right? Right. So, is that your avatar though, being a closer since you got into wholesaling to start in Jamil?
I believe so. I watched the Avatar Zoom Paste it. I just never gave myself an avatar, but if that's the label,
Are you good at it?
I'm the best at whatever I do. That's whatever I do, I'm gonna do it best, better than anybody.
Nice. I love it. And because if that's your mindset, then that's totally true. Totally. So, what are your passions and areas of focus in real estate and Subto? Like, what's your main thing that you do 24/7?
Main thing that it goes back to what excites me in this field is the fact that we're able to help somebody. We're able to help seller out of special bad situations. We're able to help the agents not get fired. We're able to help connect the dots. Okay, so if we're not buying the home, whether it's a Subto or a cash deal, right? The way I see it, and it goes back to mindset, right? And here is how it goes. When we get a deal, when we get a lead, let's start with a lead because we have to convert it into a deal. What exactly are we doing when we convert into a deal that we connected with either a traditional buyer, a wrap buyer, a lease optionee, or if it's just another investor that wants to flip it or buy and hold? What do? I save the seller, whatever the situation is, relocating, downsizing, moving. They want to be with the grandbabies because they graduated next month or next year, moving out of town. So I helped one. Two, what did I help? I helped the agent. Help the agent how? Agent got paid. Agent didn't get fired, but agent got paid to do what? So they can buy food and feed their family. Right? Now I got paid. Let's just say I'm wholesaling the property. I'm the middleman. I got paid. Now my team gets paid. My team is eating. I'm eating. I'm paying my bills. And now a lot of people is like, yeah, cash buyer, done deal. No, I give it to the cash buyer so their contractor can do the job and get paid and eat. So their listing agent can list the property later on and feed their family. Later on, somebody else is going to come and buy the house and make a house a home for their family. And then the investor also gets paid when it closes and feed their family. If that's the mindset we have, anytime we enter anything we're doing, as nothing can beat you, and you can always be excited.
Yeah, it's the ripple effect.
I made it that.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. What are you looking for in your business right now to level up?
We are actually adding as many doors to our portfolio as possible. A lot of creative deals, of course. We're buying those. We turn them into long-term rental, some midterm rentals, some lease options, and whatever the case might be, depending on the situation of the house or the location. We're also doing tons of cash deals. We flip every now and then, but we also buy and hold. We're constantly raising capital, so that's also a plus for us. If somebody interested in working with us, and make your money matter, pretty much.
So you said adding doors to your portfolio. Do you mainly focus on single family homes or multifamily, or do you do?
Our bread and butter is single family, but if we're adding more to our rental portfolio, preferably we take multifamily. It could be multifamily residential, so duplex, triplex, quadplex, or commercials like 20 units, 120 units, 200 units. And we were able to take on that because we have access to capital, we have access to handyman, and we got it all situated with also with property management.
Nice. Okay, so do you usually, the single family homes, are you usually like renting those out long-term rentals, or do you like to do like co-living or?
We have not done co-living yet. It's just not something we focus on. Long term and midterm is what we do. We don't do short term rental. We do midterm rental. So that's like 3 months or 6 months minimum. And we work with hospitals, colleges, universities, military bases, and whatnot.
Insurance companies.
Companies for their clients and whatnot.
Mhm.
And also we do lease option. We do a lot of lease option because we also try to provide housings for those who can get house any kind of qualifications and whatnot.
Nice. Okay. How was Clever Summit, by the way?
Clever
Before,
something.
before I forget to ask you again, how was it?
It was mind blowing. It was really mind blowing. I love going to. I went to the one in 2022, and then I went to that last one 2024, and I really hope they bring it back in the next year or two, because every time I go there, I come back a whole different animal breed. Like I'm ready to elevate. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to expand because
Was it like on the squat up level or?
it's different. Because Squad Up was real estate related. It was a lot
Oh,
more real estate related. With Clever Summit, for me, it was entrepreneurships in general.
oh, this I did not know. Because Cody Sperber's he's in real estate, right?
Yes, he started with wholesaling, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, so I didn't know it wasn't real estate related.
no,
Okay.
because I mean, they had, for example, Patrick B. David was a speaker over there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love Patrick Bet David.
Patrick. I mean, he talked about his company, how he grew his. He started and grew his insurance company, and then he sold it and just checked out, and now he's more into podcasts and politics. So,
Yeah, I love his podcast.
so
That's
good.
how I know him,
Hey,
because I'm a podcaster and I love watching other podcasts and
he challenges people, and that's what I like.
he does. And but what I like about that is I like the podcaster host that do it respectfully, and even when they don't agree, they still are respectful to their guest when they
Yes.
don't agree with something, this or that. And because he's one of the ones I watch a lot. I like Diary of a CEO. I watch a lot of spiritual podcasts too since my mom passed away. But so I can tell when he doesn't agree with somebody. He's like, okay, the way he asks the question.
How could you say that? How could you say that's his favorite line? How could you say that?
I'm like, oh, he totally disagrees with that right there. I can
Yeah,
tell.
Diary of CEO, a lot of people don't know about it, but it's a really good podcast. Really
Yes.
good podcast.
It
Very,
is. He does
very
very well with it. I mean, he has.
good.
I like to start with YouTube as my foundation. I love YouTube so much, and then I branch out from there to other things with the podcast. But
Love
yeah,
it. I love YouTube. 2016, I was at the edge of becoming a supervisor. I was like semi in the supervision in a supervision in the production at a bakery in Norcross here in Georgia. And
mhm.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine who kind of like talked to me into like, hey, I'm like getting into maintenance, stuff like that. And I'm forever thankful for him for pushing me to go that route. I stepped down from the supervision into maintenance, and I even took a pay cut to be in the maintenance for the first few months. And my very first day in the maintenance department, and I knew everybody at the bakery. I knew everybody from the actual owner all the way down to the latest employee that just got started.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my maintenance lead said this to me. He said, "Hey, we're not going to teach you anything because you're too dangerous. We feel like you're going to take our jobs because you're too good at what you do because you've been here for a very long time and you know everybody." Straight up, that's my
They were
lead.
like that honest.
That
They
was
just
that was my team lead. I was like, "Thank you for your honesty."
right.
And I grabbed a tablet and I went and sat down in the chair on the side and I pulled up YouTube and I learned everything I could think of in the maintenance department from YouTube. And not only I learned it, what I did is I consume and I implement. I consume and I implement. So I learned something and then I go grab scrap metal, try to weld it or like drill it, put a bolt in it, and like I was learning and consuming and implementing all these things. And that's why I love YouTube, because you can abuse it or you can use it to your advantage.
Yes. So application is where what you learned really is solidified and sticks. It cements it. The
Correct.
application.
That
Yeah.
is 100%. 2 years, and right after I got into the maintenance field, not a few months later, I learned about an aviation school for maintenance. So I joined that school, and it was like a lot of it. It was a lot of studying, but also a lot of hands-on. So I was working full time as a maintenance. Then, of course, I go to college just like everybody else did. But this particular school was just hands-on aviation maintenance and a lot of in the class studying, tests, checkpoints, and whatnot. 2018, that's when I graduated from the aviation field, got my called AMP license, it's airframe and power plant license. Um, and then I started doing a lot of contract jobs on the side. I even worked in the C-130s for the Air Force Base as a civilian contractor. I worked for a little bit for Delta, Southeast, and I did a lot of stuff. I worked a lot in a small general airport called Flight 360 here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I worked a lot with one of my instructor over there. It was amazing because I got my hands on it, and then I got a job offer. I moved from that bakery what I was at to another bakery called King's Hawaiian in Florida Branch. That's the Hawaiian bread that everybody loves. I was
Mm.
a technician there. Fast forward, I get a job offer from Boeing Airline in North Charleston, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. Like, this is it. They pay me $7 more than I was making here. I was like, okay, this is it. This is the start of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to parents, talking to my friends, talking to everybody. Like, informing me, like, hey, I'm leaving. I already called. I already got an apartment. I already paid a deposit, everything. And I go and talk to King's Hawaiian. At that time, I had worked only there for 4 months. And I said, look, I know I've been here only for 4 months, but I get this huge opportunity. And I really didn't want to turn it down. And I'll be honest with you, I'm taking it because of the money. The money is a lot more than here.
Oh,
And
I hear it coming.
I was like, I'm honest and I'm real. I'm taking it because of the money. The only thing I'm telling you is it's a 1 year job. All I'm asking is when that year is done, they might hire me if they like me or if I'm good. Or they might say, thank you so much for the 1 year. All I'm asking is like, do I have an opportunity here, or should I start looking for something else by the 1 year time frame when it comes to an end? And my
Mm.
supervisor was like, you will always have a job over here. He said, you've been here for 4 months, showed me enough. So I go to work, blah, blah, blah. And then I go home. I go back to work the next day. I get called to the office. And I probably dropped the F bomb like 30 times walking from the maintenance shop I thought, I was like, this is it. I'm done. I'm done. They letting me go. I need to figure out something for the next 2 weeks by the time I make it to North Charleston. I get back to the office and the maintenance manager, I don't want to call it sugar coat because if you remember, I told you whatever I do, I'm going to do it best, better than anybody. That's my mentality. That's my mentality. It will never change. and he's talking to me. He talked about my potential, what he saw in me, and everything. And he was like, "Look, you've been here for 4 months." He's like, he pushed a piece of paper in front of me. He said, "You read this if you're okay with everything. I don't want to hear you talk about anything else for the next year or so." So, got a paper. I flip it. They beat the offer that I got from North Charleston, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was
To
like, "No,
keep you.
yeah." I was like,
Nice.
"Can I take the day to think about it?" It's like, "Yeah, of course." And it's like now, and I don't have ego in what I do. I hate ego. I think it's just crazy when people have it. I do have a pride in what I do because I know when I do it from my heart. And
Mhm.
I was like 4 months in this job, and they already see who I am. And I would never walk around telling people I work hard because I don't do that. People should always notice how hard you work. And I was like, I was thankful. I was really thankful when the next day I say, "Look, thank you so much. I accept your offer and I would love to stay here because my whole family here, my parents are here.
Yeah.
We're war zone survivors. We were given a second chance in 2003 in Baghdad, Iraq, to have a chance to come to the United States and just have this,
Mm.
just be able to sit over here and talk to you, right?" And I was like, I'm just gonna take it. So I took the opportunity, and not a few months later, COVID hit.
Oh.
COVID shut down every airline I ever worked
Mm.
with, including Boeing Airline in North Charleston, where I was going to go work full time. Shauna,
Right.
I continue working at King's Hawaiian because people need to eat bread, but I couldn't sleep that night. That night, I heard that Boeing Airline shut down and laid off everybody. I couldn't sleep because I was like, "Whoa, that could have been me." I was like, and I don't care about this. Like I told you, I come from war zones. I come from no food, no water, nothing. So I know
Mm.
life. I was like, I can't put my family. I can't put the people that depend on me through this. So I couldn't sleep that whole night. Next day, I typed in Google. I will never forget this. I said, "What can I do one time and get paid forever?" And first one was write a book. I say, okay, next, we're not doing that.
Right.
No books.
Not even with AI. Bye.
Yeah. And then I landed on real estate, and I swear to you, I didn't know what it meant. Like the word real estate, I don't know what that meant.
Oh.
I didn't. I'm an Arab guy who's a mechanic. I don't need to know these things.
Right.
Clicked on it and I started reading, and there's I clicked on the next link and it took me directly to YouTube, Jerry Norton. Jerry Norton explained what wholesaling is, and he was spinning the wheel, land in the market, pick up the phone, call, get a house under contract, call again, sell the house. I was like, wait a second. Wait a second.
What?
I can run my mouth and make money. I said, this is it. I jumped head first.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna figure out everything else later. I didn't sit down trying to figure out the whole thing. No, I don't do that. I jumped head first, 2020 in May. Head first. Start learning, implementing. And then boom, landed my first lead. That first lead took 4 months to close. Close in November. That was my first deal ever closed in there. I was like, okay, we got it. Proof of concepts. This works.
You are a perfect example of and not everybody's like this, but I would venture to say there's someone either side, but you're a perfect example of adversity bringing out the best in you. It was that adversity that brought out the best in you, and you like, but not everybody has that though.
No, not every. Uh, COVID, a lot of people took COVID as an excuse, and many of us took COVID as a peak of opportunity to seize everything, to grab life by the throat and choke it. and make life give you everything you've ever wanted that you never had. Want it, not need it. Want it, and just choke life until it gives you everything you want. And that's what COVID was for me.
I feel like if you could see it visually when the shutdown happened, I feel like there was like this invisible wave and it hit some people and they just went like that. And some of the people that it hit were just like, and I was one of those people that was just like, it just made people take a step back, reevaluate
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Like it woke a lot of people up that didn't realize they were sleeping until it happened.
Yes.
Consciously.
Oh my God, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I so agree with you. It
Like
woke us up.
The memory in my head is I was just like, I just like sat right down and I was like, and that's, it wasn't long after that. I mean, I for a while I was walking around like not depressed or sad, but just like unsure of everything. Everything felt uneasy and unsure. Whereas before there was so much confidence
Yes.
and knowing what to expect. And then it was when I found pace that I was just like, oh, this is the way. This is, because I was a realtor at the time. So I was like, this is the way we do real estate. This will work, and that's how I got the title for this channel.
Love that.
And little Grogu, I felt like the Mandalorian, little Grogu.
Oh my God. Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is the way, really. And look, for anybody that's just listening to this, don't ever try to figure it out. Don't ever try to make this perfect before you even get started. Understand the basics. Of course, you need some knowledge. You need some people to rely on. You need some community to learn from. Some community is going to lift you and help you out. But here's the thing. The answers you're looking for are in the work you're about to do.
Yes.
The answers you're looking for are in the work you're about to do. You will never learn everything, ever.
And you won't have the answers if you don't start to do the work.
You don't have the answers if you don't start the work. And ever since that, got the proof of concepts. Move forward. Start learning, implementing. And for 4 years, I slept 3 hours because I was working a full-time job and I was doing real estate full-time. I slept.
And that's what commitment looks like. That's what laser focus looks like.
With sacrifices.
Yeah.
You've got to know.
And nobody does anything perfect the first time.
No.
Yeah, you've got to do it several times to get good at it.
I tell people this: you're gonna screw up. I've coached thousands of people. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna suck. You're gonna embarrass yourself. You're gonna fall and you're gonna fail, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not technically a failure until you quit. It's just a setback. It's a setback. You learn from it.
And a lesson.
And do me a favor. If you ever fall down so hard, don't just get up. Sit down for a little bit, analyze the situation, why you fall down, how you fall down, and what needs to be changed so you don't fall down again.
Right.
You answer these questions, get up. Get up and keep moving.
So speaking of coaching, do you have a coaching program or an online course or anything like that?
I do not, because I don't like to put myself out there as a coach. So what I do is that people that know me come to me, and I've coached people in mindset because I've developed mental toughness. War zones, no food, no water, nothing. I mean, people's like, oh, I ate ramen noodles when we was poor. I was like, we didn't have water for ramen noodles, let alone ramen noodles.
Right.
I coach a lot of people on mindset because I do a lot of priming where, like, you should just shut down your eyes and shut down the brain. I call it like a computer. When computer messing up, what do? You shut it down, you turn it back on, reset.
Right. Reboot.
Know how to reset our brain, how to give the brain a little bit of rest. So I do that, and also coach people on real estate on how to get started, especially with wholesaling, because that's how I learned and that's how I got started. We haven't, like, I've never shut down the wholesale business. And sometimes last year, I joined forces with my partners, Will Coggins and Mahmoud Isa. All of us in Astro, all of us in Subto, all of us are entrepreneurs, all of us are real estate investors. We have not shut down the wholesale business, and our wholesale business here in Georgia is generating between, I say, average 85 to 125,000 a month. That's just the wholesale business. We never shut down. So that's something we're really good at. That I can train people on how to get started, what the structure look like, who's your first hire, who's your second hire, who's your last hire, how you delegate, how you replace yourself. And of course, we have the automation, which I not technically I train people, but we help people build their automation so they can automate their business. So that way they're not too involved, so they can learn creative finance. They can learn how to buy businesses, how to buy cars, how to implement new strategies, and not just be laser focused on one strategy, wearing one lens. Because when I joined Subto, even though we've done Subto deals before, I mean, Pace puts it all out there. Like I'm telling you, in Subto community, what those people are missing the most is the community, and of course the challenges, the knowledge, what's in it. We've done Subto, and we just did another Subto within the community. Actually, after joining the community, so I'm amazed by that. So congrats to all. But within Subto, there is like 20 things you could be. That's what I love about it. There are 20 things you could be, because here is why. Like, you join other mentorships, they'll teach you how to go get a deal, how to get a lead, convert into a deal, sell it. But what if that's not your personality? What if you don't like talking to people? What if you just like to TC in a deal? What if you just like raising capital and lend it on that and make money? What if that, and all of that is provided in Subto, which when I joined, I was mind blown, to be honest with you. I was like, whoa. Whoa. I was like, I don't like saying if. I hate that word. But if I joined in 2021, Subto, it's over for everybody else. I'm just saying.
It's not a competition. It's a collaboration.
It's because I would buy probably all of Atlanta. That's why I said it's over for everybody else. Because now I was like, and there's so much in it, you know. So I was like, okay, it's good.
Now you're going to be the guy that people come and say, I don't like him. But the only reason they don't like you is because they're a little envious of how successful you are.
Exactly. Nobody's better than you ever gonna talk about you. You know, there's always the insecure people, always that what like Paige say, the knuckleheads. I call them the idiots.
And then and you're gonna meet the guy that says, you know what, Raqi, when I first saw you, I didn't like you, but now I do.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of these noises out there. I mean, if just people put that noise toward work instead of their mouth and put it out there, they'll do so much better. They'll do just like, because we're not different. We still get the same 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know? But the only difference is I don't look at my day as I have 24 hours a day. I don't. I have 3 days in one day. That's how I see it. That's how I'm able to outwork people. It's because what people like, I promise you, Sean, this is for you, Shana. How many times like you've done something in 8 hours and then another day you actually did the same amount of work in like 4 hours?
It happens.
Happens. So for me is how, and like, I don't overwork myself. I just work smarter because I'm strategic and I plan ahead. That's the only thing that I do different than anybody else, is I plan ahead, which a lot of people do plan ahead.
Or that's kind of like what Time Block does.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly what it is. Time blocking. So whatever it takes me 4 hours, I try to do it in 1 hour. Whatever it takes me 8 hours, I try to do it in 2 hours. So now in 6 hours, or like let's just say you choose 8, for example, in 8 hours, I've already accomplished what somebody would accomplish in 24 hours. So now I've lived a day in 8 hours. So now I have another 8 hours. I have another day. Family, gym, Spartan races, soccer, whatever it is. I'm very handy. I go just make a shelf, build something.
Right. And when you're so laser focused and you really are into what you're doing, it's not a chore. It's easy. to just nose to the grind and just keep going.
It's easy. The most important thing, though, I can tell people to pay attention to is don't confuse movement with progress. Because a lot of us get noise in the same circle, making the circle so big, but there is no movement from point to another point. That's the difference. You're in the same position.
Don't do fake work.
Yes, or even like they do the same work that didn't work without analyzing. Remember when you say evaluate stuff earlier? They don't analyze them. I called 300 agents today. I made 57 offers. I got 0 accepted. Okay, what did you learn? If you have 75 hours and they're all garbage, you're never gonna get a deal because they're all garbage. What did you learn? Why not make 50 calls to agents and have 10 solid offers and then get one?
Or partner with someone who's good at making the calls.
Bingo. Bingo. Personality again.
Yeah. Do you have, I really think that you should be have a coaching program or a online course or something like that. I really, because you're great at it. I think, you know what I mean? You have a gift, and if you share that gift with others, I think you would just do so well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to impact as many people as I can. That's why I'm doing what I do what I do, especially coaching others, is to help them elevate. And like I tell people all the time, it's like, just don't think about like paying me, because what you're gonna pay me is allowing me to be a part of your family legacy, and you're the chain breaker, like I am the chain breaker in my family. I said, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in that God is always watching, and allow me to be a part of that is a priceless, and then God's going to get 10x it for me.
I'll tell you, you may have not been born in this country, but you sure have the American spirit, for sure. Yes. All right. Do you have advice for somebody just starting out in real estate or in Subto or Astro or anything like that?
Be coachable.
Be coachable. Right. Oh, that's golden.
To get started, you've got to be coachable. Shut your mouth, open your ears.
Right. I love that.
If you come to me for an advice and I give you advice and you want to disagree, don't come to me. It's that simple.
Boom.
Straightforward. Don't come to me. If you think you know it, don't come and ask me. Go do it. If it doesn't work, come back and we can talk about it. I'm coachable. Okay. Be coachable is number one. Number two is master sales. And I'm not saying like go make a phone call. Just be a good negotiator with everything you do. Be a good negotiator. Be a good salesperson, because at the end of the day,
have you been in the nightly? So on the nightly dial, Daniel Q. It's on Fridays only. I think it's like 5 o'clock my time, maybe 6 o'clock Eastern. Yeah. The nightly dial. Daniel Quijano, one of the best of the best. And he has mastered sales because he's mastered the psychology behind it. Yes. He understands the person on the other side of the phone, what they need, helps like to listen to him. I'm just like, you know,
he's good.
So, yeah. So I wanted to tell you about it. Just, I didn't know if you'd ever been in there yet, since you only been in here like 2 months so far.
Yeah,
right?
No, when you say nightly dial, I thought you were referring to like the daily calls.
The daily dial. Yeah. This one's the only 1 day a week, and it's on Friday.
Friday. Maybe I'd love to come.
So do you have a podcast?
I do not have a podcast. I was told so many times to start one.
Yes. Well, let me know if you ever want to help with that.
I would love to. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, guys, that's a salesperson right there.
I'm a little, yeah.
I'm with you, honey.
I wasn't even trying to. That's how you just do it without trying. Right?
You master it. That's it. That's what it is. No, but I'd love to. Yeah, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you about it.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite things in the world to do. Like, I started it just to kind of try it out, just because I thought it might be fun, and I just like fell in love with it. Like, I love doing this. I love connecting with people. That's
I
my
was
favorite.
going to say that, especially connecting with people. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like I didn't realize it was the one of the best forms of networking when I started to do it. I thought I was just, going to be sharing information about, creative finance and real estate. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I just love the connections that I've made with people, you know? That's like the best part.
I love that. And you getting to know people, getting to know their stories. I mean, there's a story to everything in life. For past
Wow. I
years.
was just getting ready to ask, how old were you when you came here?
Yeah, I was 18. I came as a refugee. They're like, hey, as a refugee, you could do this. I was like, okay, well, let's why not, right? I told my mom,
Yeah.
I don't like it, I'm quitting. And
I'm so glad your family made it here. You're an awesome person. We're happy to have you. So happy to have you.
I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful to be given a second chance in life. You know,
Yeah.
that's why like I always help people because I was helped. And once in my life, me and my family, we were able to reunite with our father, got a second chance. Help was offered. So who the hell I am not to offer it?
Right. Right.
My mom taught me three things. She said, help build worship places, churches, mosques, anything, schools, shelters. Second is have kids that's gonna carry your legacy and continue spreading good deeds. Third, educate and pass down your knowledge. If you can do three things when you die and leave, these things will never leave.
Nice.
I think that you'll never take any money with you. You'll never take anything with you. But if you could leave these things will carry on forever.
Okay. So if people want to do business with you, um, here is Raqi's buy for. Do you want to elaborate on this a little bit?
Yeah. So yeah, of course, multifamily, single family. That's what we do. So for single family residents, really any cash deals, any creative deals anywhere in Georgia outside the city of Atlanta. More than happy to take a look at that. We offer cash. We offer creative. We offer any kind of solution that you need. We add a lot of to our rentals, and also we provide housing for those in need. A specific area, really, and my main county is what I live is in Gwinnett County, but we do in Howell County, DeKalb, Cherokee, Barrow County, Forsyth, Walton, Douglas. So we're around the city of Atlanta. So a lot of Fulton,
Oh,
urban job in Atlanta, but North Fulton is not in Atlanta because some of these are like different. It's like the bougie areas I call them. So that's why I
mhm.
don't like work in the city of Atlanta, just because I don't like dealing with the permitting in the city and all that. So I stay
Right.
around all of that. But yeah, anything you bring to my attention, look, when I say whenever I do something, I do it best better than anybody. I can give you how much I need that. I can tell you what the ARV, the property is, and what I need to be if it's a cash deal in like less than 3 minutes.
Wow. So you're like the underwriting king,
I,
right?
I love numbers. It's like if you were to make me choose between numbers and food, it's gonna be a very long.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. I have two questions that I like to ask all my guests.
Yeah.
And the first one is, what does success look like to you?
Wow. Success has no destination. That's what it looks like for me. It has no destination because the moment you think you arrive, you've lost. The top of a mountain is the bottom of another. When one bus leaves, another comes. You hang around the barbershop long enough, you sooner or later you get a haircut, right? All of these things you could think of. Success is being able to lift someone up. Success is you get so good at what you do and you become so knowledgeable that you can finally turn around, extend your arm, and lift somebody else up. That's success to me.
Wow. What a stellar answer. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the second question is, if you had one piece of advice, one piece of profound advice that you could give the listeners and the viewers, that would help them in their life, that would help change, that would be life changing, whether it's personal or professional or both, what would it be?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. God give you your vision. Don't come and tell me your vision because I can't see it. Don't come and tell Shana your vision because she can't see it. Only you can see your vision. But in order for you to see your vision and implement and work toward that, you're gonna have few things. One, something free. It's called a dream. We all have that. A dream costs you absolutely nothing but sit down and think about it. What's the dream look like? Is it buying 200 doors? Is it buying an apartment building? Or is it buying the nice car? Whatever it is, I don't care. What is your dream? But here is the most important part of it. Dreams don't work. You work. How do you do it? You write down your dreams. And now you have to break down your dream into goals. What's below that? How do you get to the dream, the goals? What are your goals are? I don't know. Like, it could be like anything like, okay, by end of this year, I want to master sales. So next year by Q1, I want to buy 1 door. By Q4, I want to have 10 doors. That's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get you to your dream. But now, how do you get to the 10 door? Now you break down your goal into actionable steps.
You make it attainable and doable.
Measurable.
Mm-hmm.
You can measure it. And more importantly, achievable based on your surrounding. I can get $1 million next year easy. 2 years ago, I couldn't do that. Why? Because of my surrounding. I had a job. I was limited to a lot of resources. Now, by the way, for those that are listening, I fired my boss. I no longer work at W2. I'm a full-time entrepreneur and real estate investor. Now, my goals are bigger. My dreams are bigger. My vision board has 3 things. Drive. What drives me every single day when I wake up? What wakes me up? No alarm clock about that.
So basically, a dream without a plan or a goal is just a wish, but you got to start with a dream. That's your starting point. So at least you know what you're aiming for.
Bingo.
Right?
Where you headed. Exactly. Where you headed. And what I promise you, when you reach that dream, you're going to have more dreams.
Yeah.
By the time you get to that one particular dream you wrote down, you're going to have a lot more dreams because you're going to be exposed to more resources, exposed to more knowledge, exposed to a podcast here with Shana for an hour, 3 hours, whatever it is.
Right.
You're probably going to get offered to be in a podcast with Shana. And you never know. I never planned on this, but it's part of my dream to sit down at home and not report to a W2. And now I have another dream, and that's to be on a podcast so I can share my life experience. Maybe it'll help somebody. See, now the dream gets bigger as you go. So that's why I said don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Nobody made it alone.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a pleasure.
I want to thank you for allowing me to be here. And I don't like to talk. Wink.
You could have fooled me.
But thank you for the opportunity to be here with you and chit chat. So it was a pleasure.
You had some great insights to share. Drop some nuggets.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. So hang back after the show and we'll talk afterwards. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Bye, guys. See you next time.